So I am taking it slow with this one today because let me tell you, I feel like I have been running a race that I just can't win lately. I'm just like racing around, and I decided I'm gonna do this video old school style and talk all the way through it. So if you guys only have the 1 or 2 minute attention span, like what is the norm lately, you may want to skip through to the speed video on this one or go directly to my website and get the recipe because I'm going to take my time here. We are making lemon rosemary scones. Another recipe straight out of my bakery. So today I have been sponsored once again by the fabulous Silda's Jam. Guess what everybody's getting for Christmas this year, because not only is it delicious, it's such a unique gift idea for that person on your list who just has everything. So the trick to a perfect scone recipe, first of all, is to use a box grater to grate in your butter. Scones are essentially biscuits, which their flakiness and lightness comes from cutting in the butter into the dry ingredients, which in my bowl here I've got some all-purpose flour. I have a combination of cream of tartar and baking soda. So I know a lot of people can't get cream of tartar nowadays. It's sort of like this obscure ingredient, and a lot of people have told me that they can't even get it, in which case you'll just use baking powder, and I have that information listed out on my website in the Notes for Success section, where you're going to find everything that you need to have success with my recipes, including ingredient substitutions. So my butter was super cold. So I also had a little bit of salt in my flour mixture. There's no sugar in this recipe. There never was. All right, so as I said, the base of my scone recipe is going to be rosemary. And I'm using fresh rosemary, which I really would recommend if you can get your hands on some fresh rosemary. And if you can't, you could use dried, but you'll always use dried herbs at 1/3 the amount that you would use fresh. So I used 1 tablespoon of rosemary. If you only have dried, you're going to use like 1 teaspoon. All right, next is the lemon portion because we're doing lemon rosemary scones. So just go ahead and grate that in to get the beautiful oils from the lemon into the scone mix. Now, if you don't like these flavors that I'm doing, like if you're kind of turned off by lemon or rosemary, this base scone recipe really can be anything you want it to be. Just this morning, I made up some chocolate orange scones and I already ate one. They're just so delicious. And here, I'll open it up so you can see. I mean, it's hard to see with all of those chocolate chips in there, but like this is not a dry, crumbly scone like some of you might be familiar with. This is just so freaking good. So let's not talk about those though. I actually pureed a whole orange into my scone mix and then put some chocolate chips in there, and I added a teaspoon of cardamom, like really good. But let me stop talking about them because we are going to dive into these amazing strawberry rosemary scones. So now I am going to add in some freeze-dried strawberries to the scone base too. Like I said, this is a really versatile base scone recipe, so you can really add in anything that you like. But because these are like whole sliced strawberries, I do just want to break them up a little bit. So in talking about the cream of tartar and the baking soda combination, basically that's what baking powder actually is. It's a combination of cream of tartar and baking soda. And the cream of tartar is an acid that will help to activate the baking soda in your recipe. So if you know anything about baking soda, you definitely need an acid in the recipe in order for it to activate. And that's why most people nowadays use baking powder, because it already has both of those ingredients in it. So it's already like taking care of the science part of it for you. Oh, this smells so good already. These are going to be so delicious. Let me tell you something. These are going to replace the dinner rolls on my Thanksgiving table this year. This is sort of like dessert and savory all in one. But these are perfect for breakfast, a midday snack. Like, I love scones. Now for the mock buttermilk, which is basically just the soy milk plus the lemon juice or vinegar. And I do all of this by hand. There is no need for any kind of electric mixers, like no electricity today. Well, except for the oven. We do have to turn on the oven to bake them. So all by hand. I'm not like mashing it. I'm just sort of like folding it over and letting that flour absorb all of the buttermilk. And then I have this beautiful dough that's sort of sticky, and that's okay. I'm going to turn this out onto the lightly floured board and then just knead it back to, so it's just not so sticky and sticking all over the place. You don't want to add too much flour, and I'm not kneading it like I'm making a loaf of bread. I just want to kind of get it into sort of like a nice circle, a nice round ball. And then what you're going to do is just press that out flat. Now, 8-inch diameter is what you're going for to get the traditional size that you would find in a bakery for scones. And I know that from my thumb to my pinky is 8 inches. So that's sort of like my handy ruler that I always have with me. But if you're not sure, you could just put like a cake pan or get a ruler and make sure that it is 8 inches across. I'm going to use the same flexible spatula that I use to scoop it out of my bowl and cut it into 6 pieces. Now, of course, you don't have to make these jumbo bakery size. You could always just use a round cookie cutter and make them more into smaller biscuit sizes. But basically, that's it. I mean, it doesn't really get any easier than making scone recipes. And what a perfect, beautiful, delicious gift idea, right? Well, I mean, they don't look good as raw dough, but wait until they come out of the oven. So I have got my oven preheated to 375 degrees, and I'm just lining these up on a parchment-lined sheet pan. Now, these don't spread at all. They will puff up slightly, but they're not going to spread out at all. And you don't really have to brush them with any sort of egg wash. I am using a little bit of aquafaba just to give them a bit of a shine. And also because even though it's a sugar-free recipe, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of sugar on top of each scone. So you all know that while those scones are in the oven baking, I am digging into one of these chocolate orange cardamom scones. And you know, the thing about Silda's jam is that it goes perfectly with like everything. So let's just take a minute to appreciate this, this perfect little gift. It comes with its own little spoon. And you know somebody was hand tying all of these spoons onto each jar. Like, this is not just like grabbing a jar of jam out of the supermarket and giving it to somebody as a gift. Like, this is such a special little, I don't know, thought out, it's just special. And I know a lot of you have actually bought Silda's jam just based off of, oh, I can't even open it. Oh, girl, I am getting so old I can't even open jars anymore. 50 ain't no joke. Oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. So I know a lot of you have gone over to Silda's Jam website. I know you've bought it, and I am sure that you love it. So comment below and let everyone know if you have bought it and tried it and what you think about it. That way they don't just think that, you know, it's just me saying that because I was sponsored by Silda's. Like, seriously, this jam is my absolute favorite. I put it in my yogurt in the morning, and of course I've been using it in all of my cakes and pastries. You saw my last cake that I made last month with the caramelized pear chai cake where I used the blackberry jam inside. Oh, it's so perfect. So let me go ahead and put a little bit on this chocolate orange scone. And I know right away some people are going to be like, no, not strawberry with chocolate. I've seen that comment before where people just don't think that chocolate and strawberry belong together. Like, that's so weird to me. Wow, that's a lot. But hey, it's Christmas coming up. That is just so weird to me. Like, chocolate and strawberry are classic together. Chocolate covered strawberries? I mean, come on. As if this scone wasn't so delicious already by itself. This jam just sort of launches everything to a different level. It is so delicious. It is not too sweet. It just tastes perfectly like strawberry fruit. You guys, you definitely need to grab some of this jam. All right, let's check these scones in the oven. It's probably been about 30 minutes. Just look at these beautiful scones. I mean, imagine getting a basket of fresh, homemade lemon rosemary strawberry scones, right? Like, this is the year for homemade gifts, I'm telling you. With a jar of Silda's jam, stop giving everybody stuff they don't need. Nobody needs more junk. There's something really just beautiful and nostalgic about giving homemade, fresh baked desserts. This is the gift that keeps on giving. Ooh, that is so beautiful. Those 3 flavors, absolutely perfect. I wouldn't change anything about this recipe. So I really hope that you're going to want to try it. Head over to my website to grab everything that you're going to need to make this perfectly. And don't forget to click through to Silda's Jam. Grab yourself some jars. Give out some homemade gifts this year with a jar of Silda's Jam. And everyone is going to remember you for the best gift they got this year. All right, everyone, thanks so much for watching. And until next time, happy vegan baking. Bye for now.